Have you heard the word Kakistocracy lately? It's all the rage. People are looking for clever names to describe this nightmare that we live in. It's sort of proof. That word is proof that the nightmare that we're living in, it just keeps on cycling in cycles. I mean, that word goes back to the 17th century. It was buried, it was retired, it was put away, and now here it is, back in action, all the rage. I mean, nothing ever changes because human nature never changes. And the good people, the good people lack the profiling skills to keep the bad people out of government. I mean, that's what it is. How many people were fooled by Hillary Clinton? I mean, she literally got millions and millions of people to vote for her. Hillary Clinton, a witch, a criminal, a thief. Same thing with Donald Trump. Millions of people are fooled by these people. A young bartender. Can you imagine people voting for a young bartender who has really no world experience? George Bush. I mean, the list goes on and on as these criminals, morons like Obama, the Clintons, Bushes, Trumps, and Kushner trick the people into voting for them. So, that's our conversation today. The word Kakistocracy is sort of in a revival, regaining popularity. People are looking to describe. It all started, people started calling, back in the Obama years, I think is when it really started with Obama. And then now it's even gone to another level because of Jared Kushner. And a little earlier in the video, I think I made a mistake. I said that people voted for Kushner. Actually, no. Nobody voted for Kushner, and that's what makes it worse. I mean, when you get these unqualified criminals in positions of power, and they're working with killer princes, I mean, they're working with dictators. That's the worst part. Nobody even voted for Kushner or Ivanka. And now they're involved with dictators. And they're actually involved with murder. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than this. So, how did it start? I mean, obviously, none of us voted for Kushner. If we even knew that Kushner was in the equation, I don't think Donald Trump would have won. So, Donald Trump wins, and early on, Donald Trump was just playing golf. Every other day, Donald Trump was playing golf at his private courses. And he let this 36-year-old slumlord run the empire. Well, he wasn't really running anything. He was just looking to make himself rich, selling visas to the Chinese. I mean, anything he was looking for somebody to buy out or bail him out on the 666 building. I mean, the whole foreign policy of America. Can you imagine? The whole foreign policy of America for the last 2 years was finding some foreign country to bail out Kushner Inc. You talk about Kakistocracy. I mean, you talk about people just working for themselves. I mean, it's sickening. And you might ask, I mean, how was he able to do it? Even future generations are going to wonder. I mean, how did a 36-year-old slumlord for 2 years, and now he's 38-year-old slumlord? I mean, how was he able to do this for 2 years? Work, trying to negotiate with foreign nations to bail him out, all this money under the... How was he able to do it? I believe what they now say is he was using WhatsApp. It's called WhatsApp. I'm not even sure what it is, but it's some sort of app on a telephone. So you got a smartphone, and there's an application on there called WhatsApp, and you're probably not going to believe this, but Jared Kushner is using WhatsApp to coordinate with foreign nations. We're talking the foreign policy of the United States of America. The foreign policy. I mean, this is just almost unbelievable. Using an app on a smartphone called WhatsApp, and he was able to contact these foreign dictators like the one over there in Saudi Arabia, and, all hidden. I think that's why they use the WhatsApp, is it's supposed to be hidden from the authorities. I don't truly believe that anything is hidden anymore. I believe that the NSA and the Mossad, and I think everybody knows exactly what he's doing. My question is, did he coordinate the murder of the journalist Khashoggi? Remember, Khashoggi, a journalist working for an American newspaper, chopped up into little pieces. And we now know that Kushner was in contact with the prince. Was he using WhatsApp to get this done? All these details, I mean, these are luridly gruesome details. And of course, you know that Kushner then would relay all these luridly gruesome details to his boss, BB. And where does this leave the American people? Up shit creek without a paddle. And now we know why the word Kakistocracy is in sort of a revival, regaining popularity as more and more people come to realize that the government is a matrix of evil people run by the worst criminals available to the 666 gang. The worst of the worst are in power. Kushner Inc. is a fine example. You have the sweatshop Princess Ivanka and a 38-year-old slumlord. No qualifications to running an empire, yet there they are. So many people are searching, looking for the truth in words like MAGA. Morons are governing America. Where does this social illness come from? Where Americans are depressed with the people who are governing over them. How did America get sick? I think that mainstream media helped spread the sickness. Proof of that is when people stop watching the so-called news from the fake networks and CNN and Fox News. I mean, when people stop watching this, they feel 100% better. So part of the cure of this social illness in America is to stop watching the so-called news outlet. The first step in being free from these criminals in positions of power, aka Kakistocracy. But let's go ahead and dig a little deeper. America was not always a Kakistocracy. We can all agree that George Washington and Thomas Jefferson were not dumb individuals. They were geniuses. They were our founding fathers. So once the American Republic died and the Constitution was stepped on, then crony capitalism started to kill most of the small businesses out there. All the dreams of normal Americans like you and I to start a small businesses, all done, killed out by the corporations. We call that crony capitalism. These corporate criminals hid behind corporations that stole billions and billions, if not trillions of dollars. And no humans were held responsible. In this environment, the people struggled to figure out what kind of criminal hierarchy are they living in. The people struggled to figure out the virus. And the children like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they rightly acknowledge something is wrong with this system. So they say capitalism is bad. But lacking in world experience or being manipulated by the 666 gang, they don't realize it is corporate, crony capitalism that is evil. So these children, like I said, they're lacking world experience. They don't even know what true capitalism is because they've never even lived in it. For many, many decades now, the banks in cahoots with the 666 gang and the government, they have taken over almost the world with this corporate crony capitalism. And because they are in 100% control of the evil matrix, and because of this, the people are reaching, the people are digging, they're searching for the truth. And the 666 gang goes to great lengths to hide the truth. And to hide the truth, you need to put the worst of the worst. You need to put criminals in positions of power to hide this crony capitalism. So people look, like I said, they're looking, they're searching. They go back to a word that was invented in the early 17th century. Yes, Kakistocracy. That's when the word was first used, back in the 17th century. And then you had people like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, and they created the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and that word sort of was retired. That word was put to bed. But again, proof that the nightmare that we are living in just keeps cycling in cycles. The proof that we live in cycles is now these criminals are back in charge. We have no George Washingtons out there. We have no Thomas Jeffersons. And now the criminals are back in charge. And that's why you see words like Kakistocracy coming back into fashion.